miles a year. So we are over 4 light years from home.
Good evening and welcome to another episode of Safe Space. Thank you for joining me as we talk this time about what does mental health mean to you. And I want to say first thank you to those who have got in touch with me since the last episode. Had a couple of people who I've not spoken to in years, and one person who I've never spoken to before who've private messaged me to talk to me about anxiety and what I did about it and stuff like that. And I will go into all that. That's what I do now, so I will touch on all those things. But I want to say thank you because I know not everyone feels comfortable commenting and addressing these subjects publicly. It's taken me a little bit to get to this stage, and it's weird, isn't it? I would have no problem telling you I've broken my arm and I'm not going to be able to drive or write or throw or whatever. Having a physical ailment of some kind, it seems to be less difficult to talk about, and that still seems like the case. And look, if you want to private message me, that is absolutely fine. I'd love to hear from you. It really means the world to know that I'm connecting with people and that this is having some kind of positive impact. So yeah, I wanted to talk more broadly about what mental health means rather than just my anxiety again, because we're all on very different and very specific paths right now. And what mental health means for me in particular has changed over the years. I've got loved ones who live with long-term mental illness. I know many people who have fought mental health problems, and I know a couple of people who have sadly taken their own lives too. And so I'm no stranger to the idea that people suffer internally, invisibly in their minds. But I guess I never really thought it would be me. And that's possibly the case for most people who haven't really thought or been affected by it. I've always been somebody who has been quite stressed and quite worried and overthinking. And so, but I had coping mechanisms for all those things. And I think that because of that, regardless of how exhausting it might be at times, I was able to manage. And so 1 in 4 of us at some point in our lives are going to face a mental health problem. And it took me finding physical symptoms that I was unable to cope with before I was able to go, right, I am one of those 1 in 4 people. And, we've all got mental health. It's as important to look after our minds as it is to look after our bodies, but we neglect them and we are ill-equipped to understand and to articulate them sometimes. And so, for me, that's how it kind of came to a head. And the things that helped were finding a network. Before I had the big, serious conversations with family, friends, Anna, maybe people that I knew would worry, that I didn't want to burden. I needed the right words, and to do that I had to find a network first that maybe I wasn't as close to. And so for me, York Mindfulness was a huge impact there, but so was talking to people, practicing. You find your words, and it might not seem like it, but I do get better and more succinct at this the more I do it. And also for me, I guess someone who thrives off the validation of other people, and has done for a long time, it's infinitely more rewarding being validated for truth and honest articulation of who I am than it is being validated for really trying hard to be what somebody else wants me to be. And I think there's power in that. There is something rewarding from that. And so speak your truth, find your network, and I will talk more about CBT because I've had a couple of questions about that as well. I'll do that in another video because I don't want to go on for too long, like always. But I suppose in the meantime, define it. If you can define what is going on with you, then it doesn't define you anymore. And seeing what it is in front of you allows you to find the words to talk about it, find help, find other people, and hopefully get a hold of it a little bit more. And yeah, we're coming up to a time, we've been in the craziest year with this pandemic and the psychological, emotional, financial, physical impacts that it's going to have, that it is having on us all, as well as, you know, not being able to hold our loved ones, coming up to that time of year where seasonal affective disorder kicks in. It's a difficult time for everybody. I recognise my privilege here, you know, and I guess because I'm able, that's why I feel a bit more of a responsibility to keep coming at you and going, come on you, think about you for a minute, think about what you could do, who do you need to talk to, what does mental health mean to you? And even if you are absolutely fine and tickety-boo and rocking the lockdown to the fullest, maybe you're the right person to help somebody that you know. Ask twice, double check, and be present and honest and there for someone's answer when you ask them how they are. They don't always need you to resolve their problems. Sometimes it's just being there and listening and accepting them for who they are. Ask me also. I'm here. Remember, this is your safe space. There shall be no judgment. You can talk to me. So I think that's it. Thank you for listening, and until next time, safe travels.
Light travels 6 trillion miles a year, so we are over 4 light years from home.